It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream Q&A. This is Q&A number 171. Let's jump right into the chat and questions, or the comments and questions in the chat. Voltex33, hi Ash, hi, how are you? Glad you could join. Ronnie Thomas, hey Ash, hey Ronnie, glad you could join. Voltex33, I hope we see more of the kids in this half because it would be pointless if they disappear. On Fear the Walking Dead? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first half of the season was really weird because there wasn't really a lot of story there, and the main story was the kids, and the kids kind of disappeared, like you said. So I hope they come back around, and I hope that there's an interesting and actual story for them, and they're not just there in the background. But I absolutely agree with you. They kind of left, and they disappeared, and it was definitely pointless. Ronnie Thomas, so do you think Rosita might die since Christian Serratos is in talks to play in another TV show? I don't think just because Christian Serratos is set to play in another TV show, that means that she's going to die. I don't think so. Because, one, is she's not like a main character, you know what I mean? They can afford to have her appear in some episodes and not the entire season. You know what I mean? And also, there's been tons of times where the character has done other movies or TV shows, but they haven't really left. You know, Lauren Cohan is one example of that. Daryl Dixon. Norman Reedus does a lot of movies, but he hasn't left the show. So I don't think just because they're in other things that automatically means that they're going to die. And also, after that kind of discussion, the other thing is that I don't think that she's going to die this season. I think there are other characters whose death will definitely push the story in a better way than killing Rosita. Mainly Father Gabriel or Siddiq. But I think that Rosita is safe. I could definitely be wrong about that, but just to answer your question specifically, like I said, I don't think just because they're going to appear in other things that automatically means they're going to die. Rosita Thomas, but I mean when Danai Gurira plays in Black Panther, Michonne wasn't killed, so I think Rosita is safe. Absolutely, that also as well. I said Norman Reedus, but you know Danai Gurira is a better example of that because she's done even bigger and bigger movies than Norman Reedus did when he was doing Walking Dead stuff. So that absolutely proves my point. What you mentioned with Danai Gurira and Black Panther. Ronnie Thomas, I think Rosita will become much important than we thought. I think there's definitely a chance that she's going to get a part of the story in season 10, or she's going to have a storyline. I don't know if that means that she's automatically going to be an important character, but she's going to be a crucial character for a component of the story in season 10. And I've done a video on that already and talked about that. And I think that most likely what's going to happen is the new character, and I'm paraphrasing here, I go into more detail in the other video that I did, but I think the new Whisper that they introduced, Gamma, is going to have some sort of rivalry or connection with Rosita. And I think that they're going to be most likely the person that kills either Gabriel or Siddiq. And it's going to push Rosita to want to seek vengeance. I think that's what it looks like where the story is heading. I could be completely wrong about that, obviously. Ronnie Thomas, also do you think Daryl and Connie will be together? There is a chance. Honestly, I'm indifferent about it, but there is some setup. But it's not 100%, obviously. But I think there is a chance. There's definitely a chance. They are hinting at it just a little bit. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a romantic relationship. It could be, but it doesn't need to be. I mean, the way they have set things up, it could just very well be a close connection. And a scenario where I don't want to say like Daryl and Carol, because Daryl Carol shippers and fans will kill me, but maybe 1/10 of the Carol Daryl relationship. It might be something like that. Ronnie Thomas, imagine they killed off Michonne and Carol in the same season. What would your reaction be? Um, I would be very, very disappointed, and I would begin questioning the writers at that point. Not saying that they shouldn't kill any of the main characters, but at this point, where we are right now, when Rick is gone, Michonne is going to leave, and I know you said Michonne, but I'm just talking about big characters in general. But at this point, when Rick is dead or gone, and Michonne is going to leave, and big characters like Glenn, Abraham, those characters are gone. It doesn't make sense to take out a big character unless you have built the other characters enough for there not to be a void after you take those characters out. And I don't think we're there now. So I would be very, very disappointed because Michonne will obviously leave, but if they kill her off, it will be. I won't be happy because I don't think she should die, but I won't be shocked because they've been telling us that she's not gonna come or that this season is gonna be her last. But if they do that with Carol as well, if they kill her off this season, then I would automatically begin questioning the writers. And it doesn't even need to be both are gonna die. Like imagine Michonne leaves and they kill off Carol. It'll still be the same type of thing. Ronnie Thomas, do you think Carol might think of suicide? Not this Carol. Maybe Carol in the past might have. Not this Carol. Before she does that, she's going to want to make things right. She's going to want to, what do you call it? Have a little bit of payback before she does that. Ronnie Thomas, for me, I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling about Carol. I mean, you could be right because they are definitely hinting at something big with Carol, but I think it'll be a bad decision to kill Carol off at this point. Voltex 33 would Whisperers be as big of a threat without their horde? Absolutely not. Their horde is what allows the Whisperers to have the upper hand, for them to have leverage over the other communities or the threats they come across. So without the horde, I don't think that the Whisperers have anything at their disposal to make them a big threat. And we're going to continue the live gameplay of Telltale's The Walking Dead this week. And also, I'll be doing my death predictions for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. Stay tuned for that. And obviously, tonight, stay tuned for the reaction to the next upcoming episode of Fear the Walking Dead. And also my promo or trailer breakdown of the next episode after that for Fear the Walking Dead. But other than that, I don't think I have a lot of videos coming up. It's really the slow time or the downtime because there isn't really too much to talk about, and let's be honest, there isn't really too much to talk about for Fear the Walking Dead other than just doing the reaction and the breakdown of the trailer. But other than those, just Telltale's The Walking Dead gameplays this week, and also I'll do my Season 10 death predictions for The Walking Dead. So stay tuned for all of those. Ronnie Thomas, do you think if Daryl sneaks into the Whisperers, and takes Alpha hostage and tells them to kill the Horde. Do you think that might work? If he is able to successfully do what you said, I think it's an interesting question. I think it might work for the short term, but long term, they're not going to be able to avoid them. They're going to come back with a vengeance plan and even worse, or they'll be even more salty and they'll want to get back at them even more than they did before. So in the long run, I think it'll hurt them. But in the short term or short run, they might, leave them alone for a little bit just to get Alpha back. Assuming that Alpha's strategy is not that she's not going to become the kind of, or I'm going to say it this way. We don't know if Alpha has told the Whisperers this, that if they take me, don't hesitate to do what you need to do. Don't let my safety hold you back. You know what I mean? We don't know if Alpha has had that discussion or conversation with the Whisperers before. So it could go both ways, depending on Alpha's strategy and what she perceives herself in the community, and how much it's really about her. Voltex 33, what if Gregory succeeded in killing Maggie? Would he stay in charge for more than a day? No, I think if Gregory killed Maggie, then everyone, or most likely Daryl, Rick, Carol, they would understand what's going on. They would see through his lies, and they would come back and want to either throw him in jail, which is less likely, but they would just want to kill him and take power back. But yeah, I don't think that he would have, or he would be in charge for more than a few days, maybe. King Ken 214, hey Ash, hey, how are you? King Ken, glad you could join. Can't talk for some reason. King Ken, ready for a new fear? Hope not. I'm not excited, but I'm ready. I mean, the fear hasn't really done too much to get us really excited. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to do. We've gone 15 minutes. We'll go for another 15 minutes, and that'll be the end of the stream for tonight. Ronnie Thomas, also imagine they do the same to the Whisperers. They killed 10 of them and put heads on spikes. What would their reaction be? Well, I don't think the survivors are as cruel or savage as the Whisperers, so they would never do that. But if they did, then for the Whisperers, it would be war. It wouldn't be even about your territory, my territory. It would be war at that point. King Ken, people are saying Madison is coming back, so I'm going to watch season 4 and 5 on Hulu. Well, we don't know if she's going to come back. There are some foreshadowing and hints about it, but we don't know if she's going to come back. Like, all of this could be just speculation. And in fact, it is all speculation. And there isn't any real concrete evidence there. There are some clues, but nothing concrete. Ronnie Thomas, can you imagine if Daryl grabs a Whisper and rips off his mask and he sees Rick? That would be ridiculous, honestly. If Angela Kang does that, then yeah, it'll be shocking, but long term, it wouldn't do anything for the story, and it would mess things up a lot. So I would really, or I would lose hope in Angela Kang's writing at that point. Ronnie Thomas, what if the Whisperers were the one to find Rick and turn him into a Whisperer? Were the one to find Rick and they take him to a Whisperer. So if you mean if the Whisperers found Rick when the helicopter group did, what would have happened? I think nothing would have, or I don't think Rick would have gone with them. Yes, he's injured, but, or one, I don't think the Whisperers would want to take him in because he's injured. He's weak. He's not going to have any value to them. But if they do bring him and heal or have him or help him heal, Rick, as soon as he sees how they operate, he would be out. He would be gone. So I don't think that it would even get to a scenario where Rick would stay with the Whisperers to turn into a Whisperer. Anna Hume, I haven't been able to see this episode of Fear as Amazon has not had it for sale. What has been your overall view of the storyline in particular? Are the characters and all together still? And you mean the season? So this season of Fear, I would say it's better than last season. Still nowhere as close as the prime of Fear the Walking Dead, the best seasons. The story is bland sometimes, most of the time. Sometimes they do have some interesting stuff in there. The characters are all together, yes, but they're not always together. Like, they're together, but they're not always seen together. There's some definitely interesting story or character development being set up, but overall, I would say it's the same recipe over and over again. Yes, it's better than last season, but that doesn't mean that it's great. I would say they still have a long way to go to make Fear or return Fear to its prime. And they haven't done that yet. And thank you for joining. Anna Hume, you said hi, Ash. Hi, how are you? Glad you could join. But I hope that answers your question. Because overall, even though I don't hate Fear at this point, if I had a choice between watching Fear or watching something else, if I didn't need to do videos on it, I would pick something else. Ronnie Thomas, do you think we might see Maggie in the movies? It's possible, but very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. But the possibility is there. King Ken 214, is Maggie 100% returning? No, she's not. In my eyes, it's probably 40% right now. There's a 40% chance she might come back in season 10. Voltex 33, Wendell hasn't appeared in 5B and it doesn't look like he appears in today's episode. It's a waste of a character. Absolutely. Especially based on or after what they did with him in the mid-season finale. Like, I thought that was the beginning of an arc for him. A story, but there wasn't. And I think it's a big, big disappointment what they're doing with most characters in Fear the Walking Dead. Anna Hume, now it's been a few weeks. How are you feeling about the comics ending? I think the way he ended it, the way Kirkman ended it, I absolutely loved it. I think that it was not really where most of us thought it would. It was, okay, here's the thing. It had elements that a lot of us speculated and anticipated or predicted, but it had parts that were shocking and surprising, and no one could have ever guessed. That's where he was going to make the story go. And I absolutely loved that. I absolutely loved the twist he gave this story and how he made everything come back into play and how he made everything go full circle in a way. I absolutely loved that. My disappointment would be just the fact that there was a time jump, that we missed a lot of great story, and that we're not, or there's a good chance we're not going to get any of that. And also, I'm disappointed that we didn't see some of these characters grow into a bigger, better character after Rick died. But overall, I would say I think it was a hell of a run for The Walking Dead, and I think he did the ending justice, even though he did skip over a lot of great stuff that he could have put there. But given the circumstance and that he didn't want to push it for further and he wanted to end it respectfully, I think he did a hell of a job. King Ken. I like season 4 more. It had a storm and it killed Nick and Madison. I still loved it. Season 5 I hate. I'm the opposite. I like season 4 or season 5 a lot better than season 5. Them killing Madison and Nick, I wouldn't say that was a good thing. I would say those things had long negative implications on the show that, they could never undo. Yes, it was shocking. For ratings, it was great, yeah, but long term for the story, it was terrible. And season 4, I would say, it was just all over the place, even more than season 5. The villains were terrible. The story was all over the place. They didn't really have a target goal in mind. They just went with the flow, and I hated it. Season 5 has a little bit of that as well, but I think it's managed a little bit better than season 4 was. Voltex33, 5B premiere has the lowest ratings for episode in TV universe. Do you agree? I haven't seen the ratings, honestly, but I didn't like it. I think season 5's mid-season premiere must be my least favorite episode, or one of my least favorite Fear episodes. Ronnie Thomas, now maybe Carol might kill a Whisperer and take his mask to sneak on their camp and try to kill Alpha. That's a very, very good prediction. And I think Negan might have a part in that as well. He might help Carol go through with that. Like, he might escape on his own, and Carol is doing her own thing, and they might see each other at the camp. And Negan is going to help Carol. Carol is going to do what she needs to do. And that might be how everything comes together. Anaheim, oh wow, so it's not even sure why Maggie's coming back. That's such a shame. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, if someone says I know for sure she's going to come back, they're full of BS. Because no one really knows for sure if Maggie's coming back. We don't know. Yes, she doesn't have a TV show anymore, or another TV show, Whiskey Cavaliers, was canceled, but that doesn't mean she's going to come back, And even if she comes back, how is she going to fit into the story? You know what I mean? After such a long time being gone. Anaheim, do you think Kirkman has issues with AMC and closed the comic down because of it? No, I don't think so. I do think Kirkman has issues with AMC higher ranking executives and things like that. I think that for sure. We know that because he sued them. But I don't think he ended the comics because of that animosity. I don't think so. And it's not just Kirkman. A lot of people have had their issues with AMC, the top-ranking network executives. So it's not just Kirkman. Animated Alex, sup? Am I late? How are you? Glad you could join. Yeah, you are late. We're going to go for another 10 minutes, and we're going to end the stream, but you can ask a few questions if you want. King Ken, no, I hate that they killed Nick and Madison, but I still love the season. Again, it's a preference thing, most likely, but I like Season 5 better than Season 4. Anaheim, I'm really such a fan of Season 3 Fear, and I seriously wonder how these screenwriters get their jobs. I mean, fan fiction, fan ideas for stories, in my opinion, has been far superior. Absolutely. And it's interesting you say that because earlier this year, like a couple months ago, I did a video where I said, or not this year, but earlier this season, when the season started, I made a video predicting what I feel like might happen. You know, how they might make Dwight join the enemy and then switch sides and something like that. And how they might have Alicia versus Logan, like Negan versus Rick. You know, I felt like they were setting that up. And in that video I said, but there's a very, very good chance that the writers are not as competent as regular fans. And they don't have ideas remotely as good as just a regular fan like me. And I was absolutely right, because that's not what they had in mind. They had something far, far less appealing and interesting in mind. And, you know, that just goes to prove your point. Tom Bokhorst, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anna season 3 was really good, I agree. I think in the grand scheme of things, season 3 was a good season. I mean, it wasn't my favorite season. Season 1 is my favorite season, but I would say season 3 may be my second favorite. At the time, I didn't think so. I didn't really like it that much, but given the crap they've given us after that, season 3 is the greatest it could be after season 1, I think. Mario, what's up, people? Finally caught the stream. Glad you could join us, Mario. Hopefully it isn't over. We have another 10 minutes, so it's not over yet. Anna Hume, this time is very UK friendly, lol. And that's one of the main reasons why I have 2 streams, one on Fridays and one on Sundays earlier, because for people in, for example, most places in Europe, they're going to be able to catch us live when we have it at this time. It's a lot better for them than when I do it later on, when it fits North America a little better. But at the same time, I don't work on the weekends, so I could afford to do videos earlier. And I can't do that on Fridays. But Fridays, we still have our later live stream. I couldn't do it this week, though, but usually we have it. Animated Alex, if Rick stays where at the CRM, that would be a sad ending. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they have to do something at the end of the movies that makes sense. Like, they can't have Rick stay at the CRM. If they do that, then they're going to have to continue the story. They can't just end it. You know what I mean? So they have to have a game plan. And I hope that it involves more than having Rick just stay at the Commonwealth, or not Commonwealth, sorry, at the CRM, or having Rick die at the CRM. I hope it's more involved than that. Yes, I think that Rick might die, but I hope that it's not as predictable as we are thinking right now. I hope there's a little more to it than just that. Mario, I was reading something from fan after Rick's last episode, so I'll try to post it in a single comment regarding CRM stuff and future of The Walking Dead. Yeah, that'll be cool. I have my own theories and predictions, but I would love to hear other theories as well. Animated Alex, how's your love life, Ash? Right now, there is none. Let's just say that. Mario, he thinks that CRM is a worldwide organization that saw state of world pollution and war literate, so they created virus that infected everyone worldwide. Their logos explains it. And then you have continued. Let me reread that. CRM is a worldwide organization that saw state of world pollution and war literate, so they created virus that infected everyone worldwide. So you're saying that they created the virus to in a way, bring on the apocalypse. I mean, it's a theory, definitely, but there's a lot of plot holes with that. You know what I mean? Um, why would they do that in a way where, what do they have to gain from it? You know? Um, do they have a plan to rebuild the world? Because if that's what they did, and they wanted to rebuild the world, they have to have a plan for rebuilding the world. Do they have a plan for that? So yes, it's a theory. It might be a good theory. There could be some clues about it, but at the end of the day, I think that there's a lot of plot holes with it. So because of that, I think that it doesn't really work. It, if that's where they're going with it, they're gonna have to um, set it up before that, and it's gonna have to be more than the vague stuff they've given us so far. Mario. So first circle is collapse of society. The second one is extinction of humans, and the third one is repopulation of humans. Oh, so you're saying they're gonna completely wipe the entire world and have them repopulate? Again, if they have that in mind, they're going to need to have a plan. If everyone's extinct, how sure are they that there's going to be a population after? You know what I mean? So there's a little bit of a gap there. It's a good theory, but we have to think of it all the way through, I think. Andrew Hume, LOL, it's Anna. My phone lost power. No worries, glad you could jump back. Giuseppe De Rosa, yo Ash, how are you? Giuseppe, glad you could join. We're gonna go for another 10 more minutes. I keep saying that, but because some more people are joining in, we'll go for another 10 minutes, and that'll be the end of the stream. So we're on 35 minutes in right now. We'll go for another 10 minutes, and then we'll shut it down. Giuseppe De Rosa, I'm late as hell. Yeah, just a little bit, but we'll go for another 10 minutes. Andrew Hume, just saying the CRM seems pretty close to Virginia. Strange then that Rick doesn't just go home. I hope he doesn't have amnesia. Yeah, I hope not. I mean, that's one of the things I'm afraid of if they do that, because I think that's lazy. That's the most lazy writing technique ever, especially in this circumstance where we are in The Walking Dead. Mario, maybe not all humans, maybe just America. That's a little better, but at the same time, what's their game plan? What are their plan to trigger the repopulation of the world? You know what I mean? My camera just died, so let me fix that and I continue. Okay, we're back. Giuseppe De Rosa, will we ever get a Kirkman cameo in The Walking Dead? I hope so. That would be interesting. I don't want to see him as a zombie, because it's cool and all, but it's quick. I hope they give us a character, a one episode character even, that they find, and then he dies at the end of the episode. Maybe it's because Kirkman can act, maybe, but it would be cool to see him cameo, even a small cameo. Let's say when the Commonwealth comes around, let's say there's a comic shop and Kirkman is the owner. That would be cool. Some interesting cameo like that might also work. Animated Alex, who's not excited to the end of The Walking Dead. I don't think anyone is. At this point, where we're going, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming. So it'll be disappointing if The Walking Dead just ends. Giuseppe De Rosa, I wanted to end with Rick. Absolutely. I think everyone's does. It started with Rick. It should end with Rick. Giuseppe Rosa, classic Ash, my phone died. Or just died, lol. Yeah, yeah, that's classic me. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It does that, and it's because it goes inactive or something. So I have to keep clicking this thing where it's activated. So or that it's coming from the camera to the computer because right now it's inactive. Like I'm not doing anything on the camera itself. So it's gonna be going into like a sleep mode. But if I keep pressing this button that connects my camera to my computer, then it's going to make sure that it stays on. I've tried to disable the sleep thing on the camera, but it just doesn't work. So I don't know what it is. I couldn't get it to, get it fixed. But at this point, I'm just gonna go with clicking this every like 15 minutes or so to make sure it doesn't go to sleep. And when it goes to sleep, it's because I forgot to do that. Mario, you gotta understand that Rick's movies is the last of The Walking Dead, because that will probably be their end game. So that theory can prove really good if they decide to go that way. Yes, absolutely. And if that's where they're going, then they're really gonna need to build it up and make sure that they address all of the little things, either in the TV show, in the movie, or in the universe as a whole. And I hope that they have thought about all of those scenarios and all of those questions, and they address all of those. Andrew Hume, yes, I don't want to see Kirkman as a zombie, but I'm worried he won't have a cameo due to legal stuff. Sucks though. I don't see any legal reasons why he couldn't. What do you mean exactly? You might want to be more specific about that. I think a quick cameo, like a 5-minute cameo, might be interesting and it will work. But I don't know what you mean by legal issues. Animated Alex, like Marvel's Iron Man, started with him and ends with him. Yeah, absolutely. I think it shouldn't. It's not always the case that it has to go full circle, but for some stuff, it just has to. There's just no other way. If it doesn't end with them, it has to be pushed towards a new direction with them, with their death. For example, if the comic didn't end, but Rick died, then Carl would become the new face of The Walking Dead. And that's what I mean. Like, it would be like the beginning, but this time with Carl. So that part of the story started with Rick, ended with Rick. Another part will start with Carl and end with Carl. And then another one would start with Carl's daughter and end with her daughter. You know what I mean? So something like that. Like, The Walking Dead still continues, but it's transitioning into a different character, or transitioning to a different character. But yeah. Andrew Hume, do you think any chance we will see Rick search for his brother, Spanish pregnant girlfriend? I think if they were going to do that, they would have done that by now. If they do that, it would be like a different spin-off. They wanted to do it. At this point, I don't think they have plans on bringing that to the TV universe anytime soon. Giuseppe Rosa, young Andrew Lincoln playing as Batman. Anna Hume, sorry Rick, not sick. Bloody autocorrect, lol. I don't see sick anywhere. Oh, sick. You wrote sick, but I wrote Rick, or I read Rick. Giuseppe Rosa, what hero could Andrew Lincoln play as? None, honestly. Like, I don't think his personality and his character, or who he is as a person, fits that. Yeah, it might work, but I just can't see it right now. We'll go for another 4 more questions. So these, or comments or questions or whatever, and then we'll end it. Mario, I don't really want a cure endgame, but virus infection would be really nice. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of explaining the virus, and that's how it ends either. Giuseppe Rosa, if they kill Judith, I'll be pissed as fuck. Yeah, I hope they don't kill off Judith at this point. Like, she's the face of The Walking Dead. Like what I said about Carl and all, that's with Judith right now in the TV show. So I hope they don't kill her off. Andrew Hume, legal issues between AMC and Kirkman. I'll love to see an animated Ted featuring Carl. Or The Walking Dead, you mean? Yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, I see with the legal issue what you mean. Like, they had their problems in the past that might play a part. And I agree with you on that. Alright, that's basically it for this stream. Thanks everyone for joining and asking questions and supporting the channel. Stay tuned for my reaction to the upcoming episode of Fear tonight and my trailer breakdown of the next episode of Fear. And this week, stay tuned for my Season 10 death predictions for The Walking Dead and the continuation of Telltale's The Walking Dead gameplay for Season 2. Thanks everyone. I will see you all soon for the next stream. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.